So look, this is actually the easiest wrap up of all the election nights. Everyone lost except Andrew Gillum.
That's not true.
No, I'm kidding. There were good progressive wins. As always, I like to tell you the Just Democrats score, and we went 2 and 5, and the 2 were unopposed. So not a great night for Just Democrats. I'm keeping it real, but remember, we take chances. That's the whole point. Nobody else would have endorsed Deidre Abood.
Yeah,
okay.
Who ran a great race. Doesn't matter that she lost, she ran a great race.
Right,
and she can run again in the future somewhere else.
That's right, and I'm super proud of her. She worked so hard and was a wonderful progressive candidate. And if you don't do the Deidre Aboods, you don't get the Andrew Gillums. But the huge story of the night is Andrew Gillum. As we talked about earlier, we believe it's a turning point, and I think now one of the themes that comes out of 2018 primaries is progressives are here. We have arrived.
And it also helps it helps the Senate race in Florida. It has an effect on Washington, and it has effect on that Senate and gaining control of Congress for the Democrats, because that was one that still, there's no poll yet, obviously, but it did look like Rick Scott was going to be beating Bill Nelson. The polling trends have been that way, and this changes the dynamic because of the voters that are energized by the Gillum candidacy, and I think that's so important.
Yeah, I got no love for Bill Nelson. He's blah, right? He's both literally and metaphorically asleep. But God, it would be great to beat Rick Scott.
Yep.
Oh, if we beat Rick Scott and DeSantis on the same day in Florida, you don't want to miss 2018 general election coverage on the Young Turks. That's just one state.
And it's Trump. It is Trump versus Sanders in Florida now. There's no other way to put it, because you have the DeSantis. DeSantis put Trump in all of his ads. He had his family talking about Trump. Did you see that ad with his kids?
Oh yeah.
Oh
no. Yeah. It really. Michael talked about it earlier than I, but it really is great framing. Bernie versus Trump in Florida in that Gillum DeSantis race. Oh, that's awesome. Look, let us now begin to whisper of a dream of the general election. Beto O'Rourke beats Ted Cruz. Gillum beats DeSantis.
I'm sorry, Cinema beats McSally. That's 3 flipped seats for the Democrats. Bredesen against Marsha Blackburn, who's having trouble getting her candidacy going in Tennessee. There are reasons for Democrats to be hopeful. Tester had a bad poll. Heitkamp's had bad polls. In Nevada, you have Jackie Rosen doing well against Dean Heller. Everybody's talking about the House. There is a chance, as we see this thing get closer, that the Senate is in greater play.
Yeah, so that's for the Democrats, and that's super important if you care about being against Trump and his policies. Super important.
But also having committees, having not just the power to subpoena, the power to stop what these Republicans have been doing.
No, just judges.
Judges, right? They're pushing them through today.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And look, at a bare minimum, the Republicans don't get to pass laws anymore.
Yeah.
Like laws that are outrageous and terrible and regressive, et cetera. So I don't want to understate that. But also within that drama is the progressive camp, which Sinema is not in.
No,
I still want her to win against McSally in 100%.
Look, if the Democrats are able to take Congress, Jank, and there's more of a sprinkling, like you said, a new caucus in Congress, more of a sprinkling of progressive, that's a win, right? That's a double win, because you get more progressives and you get control of one or both houses. So, just because you're rooting for Sinema to beat McSally doesn't mean that you're not elated over Andrew Gillum winning in Florida. So they're not
mutually exclusive. Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's so many other races. Ben Jealous in Maryland, that's very important.
Stacey Abrams in Georgia.
Kara Eastman in Nebraska. I would argue James Thompson in Kansas.
For sure.
And now you would argue Amar Kampa-Najjar against Duncan Hunter Jr. in the 50th district.
Andrew Jans against Devin Nunes in Central California. I was just covering that race up there last weekend, and that's a real race.
Katie Porter.
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah. So Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they're already in essence.
De facto.
Yeah. So that's, by the way, so for the Just Democrats, if they do a caucus, whether it's named that or not, they basically already have 6 people in Congress, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got a lot of the other people we just mentioned.
Right.
It's exciting, man. It is, man, that election night is going to be electrifying. Now, of course, as we saw in 2016, anything can happen. So if they start to lose, we'll be devastated. And we've seen in primary nights significant losses that were really, really hard to take. But if they start winning, and there's a possibility, a very, very real possibility now, that we start running the table, it is going to be an ecstatic night.
And redistricting in North Carolina could add 1 or 2 more seats to the Democrats in the House too, not to be overlooked. But that ruling today was huge. So
the Pennsylvania ruling earlier was huge, and the polling shows Democrats in an upswing in general elections, and so.
And there's no one at the top of a national ticket who has negatives attached to him or her, which is important this time for Democrats.
For Democrats, and that is why a lot of times sitting presidents lose midterm elections, because it's lopsided. Because politics is unfortunately a lot of negativity. So there's a lot of negativity around any president, let alone Donald Trump. And people keep forgetting how unpopular he is. Even if he's at his max of, these days around 39%. That is a terrible number. If Obama was at 39%, it would have been a bloodbath in those elections that were already bad in the midterms, right? And 39, there is no magic. Numbers are numbers, math is math. We still live on planet Earth, right? And if they go into that election and Trump polling in the 30s and everything else we just discussed, it is going to be an amazing night. So very, very exciting. I think the Democrats at this point almost certainly take the House, but
no, there's nothing certain.
There's nothing certain.
Yeah, I hear you.
You got more than 2 months.
Look, even on those videos that the right wing passes around about our 2016 election coverage, which they so thoroughly enjoy, they're like, "Ha, you got it wrong." Even in those videos, even in the highly edited ones they do, you see throughout, like Steve O saying to me, like, "I'm not buying your skepticism. Hillary's going to win easy." Oh, so like they accidentally admit that I was skeptical. And if you watch that night, Ben and I were like, don't be so sure, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I don't say that because I'm a pessimistic person. And anybody who watches the Young Turks knows that's not the case. It's situational. So what does the polling show you? What are the other factors involved? And that night there was reason for concern, as everybody else was so confident. We're still got about 70 days left before the election.
Let's just talk about 2018.
But I'll tell you, right now, the Democrats look to be in great shape. I mean, I know everybody's gonna think this is outlandish, but I think there's a shot at 250. Okay, so I know that would be unbelievable. So, but they got a shot at it. But to your guys' point, never underestimate a Democratic Party's ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, because we do not own the finish line.
218 would be fine.
You're not
if they
allowed
won
to
the
shop
Senate
at finish
too.
line.
We take 218 if they win.
Right,
the Senate.
but with progressives now leading, not necessarily leading the charge, but part of the charge, maybe we will own the finish line.
Yeah.
So only one way to find out. There's still some primaries left, but we're getting closer and closer to the general election. As always, thank you for all of you for watching at tyt.com/live as we do every election night. And thank you to all the members that make this possible and get all of our network shows. That's tyt.com/join to become a member. Thank you guys. By the way, are we doing a post game or no? Okay.
One person won't be part of that post game.
Okay. You know what? I've been promising it all week. So we're gonna do a quick 5 to 10 minute one. John and I will do it, okay? But for the members, we always want to give extra, okay?
Yeah.
So tyt.com/join for the members. We'll see you there in a minute. Michael, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Love it.
Bye-bye.